Cyclops is in Marvel Rivals now, and this trailer has served as yet another reminder that Scott the GOAT Summers is really like that. I don't know what NetEase has been on since that Daredevil Angela trailer, but oh my goodness, was this reveal cinematic so beautiful. It has been such a long time coming with this character, dog. He went from esteemed leader to nothing burger character to antagonist the Doom, which was pretty fantastic too, not gonna lie, back to GOAT leader. Scott Summers, the man that you are. Scott Summers was moving insane in this Rivals cinematic. I feel like it's mandatory for Cyclops to have a crazy super optic blast moment in everything he's featured in now. The moment I saw him hit this super beam, the first thing I thought of was that scene in 97 where he shot an optic blast so powerful, he literally used it to break his fall from thousands of feet in the air. Is he flying? It also reminded me of when he hit that same super beam in that Doomsday teaser too. It looks so tough in that teaser, but nothing will ever beat the power of animation, dog. Holy mog. Bars. I swear, these animators need every single flower in the garden. Not only were there impact frames galore here, but his optic blast in this Rivals trailer was so powerful, the whole art style changed. How he go from 3D CG to 2D greatness off the strength of his powers alone. He let out the most visceral scream I've ever heard in my life here too. Like, it's not just cool that he's shooting this big ass mega XXL beam out, but it's literally taking everything in him to do so. It kind of reminds me of that one panel where he shoots an optic beam so powerful he literally makes the whole screen go red, and Wolverine of all people is like,
not gonna lie, bro, it's times like this when I remember why you're the leader.
Cause he really like that. I just love when they let Cyclops flex like this, and that's also such a fun way to play with the medium of comics too. Let's make the entire panel just straight red and all you see is the silhouette of the body. That's so hard. I think my favorite leaders of the X-Men are always gonna be Storm and Magneto, but Cyclops is a very close third. One of the things I like the most about him being the leader of the X-Men is how simple his powers are in comparison to certain other X-Men on his team, like the Omega level demons. It's kind of like how Mario or Ryu or Soul Bad Guy are the staple poster guys of their fighting games, but they also are the easiest to pick up, or how Gonari to Dory are the main characters of their stories that have these crazy power systems, but they end up having the simplest and most digestible abilities in their series. It just makes sense for Scott to have an ability that's easier to understand and follow versus somebody like Storm or Magneto, who are damn near gods in their universe. In the case of Storm, she literally is the goddess of rain. Not that she's literally like not of this earth, but like her powers are so like that she's literally known to many people as the goddess of the rain. Like, yeah, them leading the X-Men makes sense because they're the strongest, but that also gives Scott more to prove. Cyclops is the leader not because he's the strongest, although he still is pretty powerful. He's the leader because he understands his team and the burden it takes to carry the mission of the X-Men, to a fault even. So much so that he sacrificed his own personal life on many occasions for the sake of Charles Xavier's mission. It's kind of super messed up how Scott was kind of groomed into the role of leader of the X-Men and how much responsibility he feels like he needs to carry alone. That's why I low-key adore his villain arc, and I love seeing him stray away from Professor Xavier's vision and lean more towards that classic Magneto ideology. I'm telling you, dog, after that first season of X-Men 97, it is not crazy at all to say Magneto was right. When Scott was talking to the interviewer in that one scene where he was like, I ain't gonna lie, you should be lucky we're not like y'all niggas, because if you were, y'all niggas would have been dead, cooked, fried 1,000,000 times over. Be lucky we're not human like y'all niggas. Yo, Scott activated. He's not just the Boy Scout X-Men, although that's like his thing, but dog, I ain't gonna lie, there's more to Scott than that. His design during his villain arc was so legendary too. Holy peak. The X-Visor is genuinely so beautiful, and I hope we see this look adapted in literally whatever down the line. Tell me this ain't Aura. His design in Rivals is pretty fantastic too, but it's very clearly just a reimagining of his most iconic blue and gold retrofit. It's been Rivalsified, so there's some extra design lines and patterns in there, along with some black accents too. I actually really like the black accents in this design especially. There's so many X's all over this design too, which is kind of funny, but I think it works. There's kind of a sect of the internet that doesn't like Marvel Rivals character designs because of how like over designed they are, but I'm not gonna lie, the Rivals over designification I think looks cleaner than the MCU's over designification. Like, both parties love their lines. Could throw some lines on the suit and throw some extra patterns, I get it, but maybe I just have a bias towards like art and animation more, but like it just feels better seeing Rivals do it versus the MCU. And I don't even hate the MCU suits. I think most of the MCU suits are pretty good. At the very least, they're like pretty cool. At the very most, Hall of Fame. Cyclops designs with his hair out are cool, but I got such a soft spot for the Cyclops looks where he's got the full bald mask on. Like, my favorite Cyclops design of all time might genuinely be his Wolverine and the X-Men look. look. The bald mask with the dark gray trench coat and the classic navy blue fit underneath is so beautiful. What I love almost as much as like bald cap Cyclops is when the nigga has the bald cap and then like he gets battle damage and is like now the hair is exposed. So it's like you literally get two cakes and you get to eat both. Between Scott Summers and Matt Murdock, red shades are just so hard to me. I don't know. They each wear red shades for different reasons, but both are clean as hell. I wonder if they've ever had a conversation about that. I mean, it's comics, so I'm pretty sure they have at some point. Like, bro, comics get so deep. The two most randomest characters on the most opposite sides of the universe have had at least one interaction before. And then it's like, fuck it. Not even just on the opposite sides of the universe, on the opposite sides of like the entire company franchises. How are Superman and Spider-Man having collabs? How are Batman and Deadpool having collabs, bro? I'm not gonna lie. It's comics. They do whatever in comics, and I'm here for it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm here for it. Fair enough. Scott's relationship with Wolverine is pretty interesting too, but I'm kind of sick of the love triangle shit with them. I think him, Logan, and Jean need to just become a throuple at this point. But that won't even fix shit, because the X-Men are so messy, it don't just end with these three. Then you gotta throw in Emma Frost, Psylocke, Morph, and probably hella others in there too. The X-Men just can't help but be messy, and I love them for that. That is the messiest team, messiest side of any universe of fiction I've ever been witness to. Beyond all type of timing. I love it. It makes for such interesting stories. You said this person is fucking around with this person, but this person is actually still fucking around with this person, who's still fucking around with that person, but hold on, that person don't even know that this person is fucking around with this person. Whole time this person had a baby by this person, but it wasn't even actually this person, it was a clone of this other person. What is happening? I love it. Give me all the drama, soap opera-ness of it all. Look, I like shonen, I like all the punch battle stuff, but I love the slice of life. I love the romance. I love the drama of it all just as much. I love hands, but give me everything else too. I so hope Scott gets special voice lines with Emma Frost and Psylocke and Rivals, bruh. What are they gonna talk about? I don't know which Psylocke Scott was involved with. I don't know if in this universe it's even the same Emma Frost as the same universe that Scott's from, because Rivals got some multiverse shenanigans going on. But please, let's just acknowledge how messy these people are. Please, please, Netties, please. This Rivals cinematic was so beautiful though. Holy! Scott was zipping and zooming around like it was nothing, hitting all types of optic beams. Look at him hitting this zigzag optic beam of doom too. Who was he feeling like? Darkseid? I love that it looks like they had so much fun making this trailer, because what do you mean Scott can ricochet his beams off of targets? Since when? Let's get to it. Like, yeah, I know they're concussive blunt force projectiles that hit like really hard punches, but golly, this hitting like these? TBH, I don't even know if I buy that punch dimension shit, because it feels like it really depends on who's writing or drawing him in that given moment, or what kind of adaptation he's in. Regardless, punches are pretty hot anyway. I guess friction or some shit. Also, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur were in this trailer too. Shout out them. I've seen clips from Moon Girl series, but never a full episode. But I love the art style so much, and I'm always gonna be happy to see melanated heroes on screen. I feel like she should have been playable though. What's up with that, Netties? What's up? She could have been on some dual character timing with Devil Dinosaur. On some Ice Climbers, Banjo Kazooie, Also, Scott got captured at the end of this cinematic, so are they gonna do what they did with Blade with him and just hold him hostage as a playable character for a couple seasons? I really, really hope not. Oh yeah, we watched this trailer on stream when it came out too, so if you want to see my live first time reaction, I'll leave a link in the description. Hello Next is now a YouTuber that streams sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, stream is actually so much fun. I'm having a blast with that. I'm hella excited for season 2 of X-Men 97, and I'm so excited to see where the story goes. I'm just so happy the X-Men are back, dog. It's magnificent. I want to get into more X-Men comics too, classic and present. But look, they gotta put Cyclops and Marvel Tokon as DLC at some point too. Apparently Arxis and Marvel Games want this game to last a whole ass decade, so I think we gonna see him at some point. Although it do make me so happy to see my goat Storm as the leader of the Unbreakable X-Men. Throw Scott and Kurt in there at some point too though. I'm just clutching, waiting for the day Nightcrawler, my glorious king Nightcrawler, Kurt Bigner, gets put in a fighting game. Please, I'm watching everybody. I'm training day in and day out. I'm not going outside. I'm becoming the nicest Nightcrawler of all time. Also, slight side note, one of my favorite things about Cyclops being the leader of the X-Men is when that dude Charles Xavier diabolically. Because Professor X low-key deserves it, bro. He's kind of a bad person, bro. The way he like dumped all this responsibility on Scott. He's a founding member, so he was like a teenager who already had this, look, bro, you gonna lead this team one day type dumped on him. And also, we didn't forget what you did with the Danger Room, bro. Well, honestly, we did forget because I didn't know who Danger was at all pre-Marvel Tokon. Apparently, Professor X knew that the Danger Room was sentient, and he said, F it, I'm gonna just let my students beat you up. I'm gonna leave you as a prisoner within my mansion to train my students. What? I'm genuinely shocked Danger came around and like became a good guy. After going through all that, I'm booming the entire X Mansion. Retribution. And also, his voice actor being the same from 97, I low-key have mixed feelings about. I think in 97, his voice works really well. In Rivals, or at least in that cinematic, well, when he was screaming, that scream was visceral as fuck. That was in his bag. But when he's like talking normally and he's talking about like, Nueva York, not the warmest welcome, he sounds so Boy Scouty. I think I'm just gonna need to get used to hearing 97 Cyclops with his little classic comic-y look. I'm gonna have to get used to hearing that voice translated onto this hard Rivals-ified Cyclops. You feel me? I'm still excited. I think it might be time for me to hop back on Rivals. Let me see his skins though. Let me see Cyclops skins though. But yeah, shout out Cyclops and shout out yo.
I can't feel my face right now. I'm burning up. I got this feeling that I won't come down. Like, got this feeling that I won't come